So this is a short demonstration of how to set up image planes inside PolyCAD. Image planes allow you to import graphical data such as scan drawings and allow you to model some geometry over the top of those images by tracing over lines. Images can be set up in all three different planes, although they are locked to the principal planes themselves. And once you've put those planes in, it's a fairly easy task to draw the geometry over the lines and using the different dimensions create a 3D model out of the data. So here we see three images already inside PolyCAD. We have a center plane, we have a waterline plane, and we have a section plane. And the parameters on the right allow us to position these images inside the model wherever we want them. Additionally, we need to scale these images. This is what the scaling selection window is used for. We have some various dimensions of that image or scaling window on the plane itself, and later on we'll show you how to set this up. So the information that you'll need is that obviously you'll need an image file. This should be in Windows bitmap format at present. The preferred color depth should be 24-bit. 24-bit is used internally, so if you don't use that format, the system will convert that into those dimensions. Preferably, the image should have a black or white background to assist you in the digitization process. And you'll also need some areas of the drawing to calibrate that image, certain points, say water lines or buttocks or center lines, decks, to pick out particular features, and you'll need the associated dimensions of those features so that you can scale the image into the 3D model. A final point to note is that the image size will be internally resampled based on the capabilities of your graphics hardware. The larger the image, the longer this might take when you load up a new file. In the file, the saved file itself, this image size is always saved as you've loaded it, but as graphics hardware is different on different machines, then when that image file is loaded, then it will be processed at that point in time. So, highlighting the issue of the calibration points, this is a fairly traditional yacht midship section. The type of information we're looking for could be things like a center line, some buttocks, various vertical features like our bottom waterline, or we could choose this deck up here. And ultimately we're looking for a rectangle or 4 points which we can use to scale the image. And we need the associated dimensions of these points. Center lines are fairly easy because they're normally 0. Baselines are also 0. But buttocks might have more complicated dimensions, particularly in this case where this is a vessel designed nearly 100 years ago and probably an imperial. So we have some dimensions here, and we'll now go through the process of calibrating an image in PolyCAD. So coming to our midship section of that yacht image used previously, we can see that this image is already quite squashed. So we'll now go through the process of calibrating that image so that it fits in our model in the right size. So the first thing we need to do is to turn on the scaling and the edit. Turn on the scaling selection and allow ourselves to edit it. So by pressing going to edit, we have this window here which we can use to select features of the image that we want to scale our selection to. So now all we need to do is move these edges of this rectangle to the known points. So we had previously our center plane, we were choosing this lower waterline, we were choosing the third buttock out from the center line and choosing this waterline up here as the deck. So once we've picked out those characteristics, we now need to scale the image to these dimensions. And we use the rescale image to window dimensions here. And this provides us a box type image that corresponds to each of the 4 edges. So this box over here connects to the left edge, the bottom edge corresponds to the lower edge, the right is the right side of the window, and the top is the top of that box. So now we will type in these dimensions, so left and right, as we had indicated previously. So the bottom was from 1.161 to 3.39. So pressing that rescales the image to those dimensions. So this side is now on 0, this side is now on 1.462, the bottom was 1.161, and this is now at 3.39. Walking through the whole process, we could use this simple example. This has some much better dimensions. For example, both the centerline and the baseline are 0, our half breadth is 10, and our deck is 11 above the baseline. So coming to this simple example, we can see an image already in our model here. To begin with, we'll just see what it looks like, but now we'll delete it and go from this process right from the beginning. So we have our empty model, and to start with, we want to be in the view that we want our image to exist in. So this is a section type image, so now we'll go to the create menu and create an image plane, and we'll now select the image that we want to use. So there is our image in the plane there itself. Right, next stage is to calibrate the image. So we'll turn on our scaling selection and we'll set it up for editing like so. So now first of all we drag our image in to pick out these features. So here we can zoom in quite closely and pick out the middle of a line. There's our circle gone. There we go. Draw it down to our baseline. And we're off to our half breadth and connecting our deck. There we go. So now we've set that rectangle up to known locations, known dimensions on our image. Once that's done, we can now rescale the image. So if we put that over there, we see that we have 0 for the center line, 0 for the baseline, 10 for the half breadth, and 11 at the deck. So now that image is scaled. We have 0, you can see from the position down here, 0 on the left, 10 for Y on the right, the bottom should be 0 on Z, and the top should be nearly 11. We can also change the colour of our image there to make it slightly easier to see what we're doing when we digitize over the top. So an example of digitization would be as follows. So if we just set the image back so we can see the grid, and we'll digitize an X topology curve over the top, like so. Now we can now edit that curve to add a blended segment, and here we see now we can digitize with respect to that line and get the shape that we want. By putting in more images, we can build up a 3D model. So in summary, you'll need your image with various requirements listed there, and to put that into PolyCAD you need to draw the plane, select the image, match the selection rectangle to your calibration points in the image, and then you need to scale the image based on those calibration points to the dimensions associated with that calibration data. That completes this demonstration.